Philadelphia Eagles just revealed tons of secrets during the draft and rookie minicamps. Confidential information regarding their 2024 draft picks. Howie Roseman reveals the players they coveted or deemed as red star candidates that may have implications moving forward. Eagles rookie minicamp also reveals some extremely interesting things regarding the Philadelphia Eagles rookies and how they will be utilized. At this point, the entire NFL will have to assemble like the Avengers in order to stop Eagles general manager Howie Roseman and the Philadelphia Eagles. Not only did the Eagles use the draft to complement what they've done in free agency, but they also secured their future by drafting two of the best players in the NFL draft at a position of absolute need without having to move up in the first round to do so, all while acquiring picks for the future. The real question that must be answered moving forward is how will the Philadelphia Eagles utilize these new players that they acquired via the draft? What roles will these new players have and how effective will they be? And what this draft tells us about the Philadelphia Eagles plan for the future, but also the present. So let's break down the Philadelphia Eagles draft round by round, player by player, pick by pick, and discuss the hidden secrets the Philadelphia Eagles leaked to the public in the NFL draft, but also during rookie mini camps. This is the Voice of the Eagles show, and like always, God bless those Philadelphia Eagles. But enough of that. Play the video, bro.
It ain't no doggone tomorrow, fellas. What are you gonna bring to the doggone turn? Are you gonna bust somebody in their mouth? Are you gonna do your doggone job? Are you gonna play from your doggone chest? Are you gonna play from your heart and get everything you doggone got? Cause I'ma do that.
So leading up to the NFL draft, there are many speculation regarding what the Philadelphia Eagles would do with their first round draft pick. With reports of the Philadelphia Eagles trying their hardest to trade up for a cornerback, it actually made sense due to the Philadelphia Eagles having a disastrous year trying to stop the pass in 2023. With Brandon Graham retiring after this season and Josh Sweat on a one-year deal, it felt like the Eagles needed pass rushers after trading Hassan Reddick, their best pass rusher and arguably their best player on the defense. But as the 2024 NFL draft began, the Philadelphia Eagles were somehow able to draft Quinyon Mitchell with the 22nd overall pick in the NFL draft. Quinyon Mitchell was arguably the best defensive back in this draft. For the Philadelphia Eagles to be able to pick him at 22nd without having to trade up was honestly a miracle. But with 8 offensive linemen and 6 QBs going in the first round, that left tons of high quality players available for the Philadelphia Eagles. Mitchell attended Williston High School in his hometown and played football, basketball, and ran track. He totaled 86 tackles, 19 pass deflections, and 8 interceptions in his career. He also played on offense and recorded 983 rushing yards and 11 touchdowns with 9.5 yards per carry as a senior in 2019. What's most intriguing about Quinyon Mitchell was not the fact that he ran a 4.3 40-yard dash and could squat 500 pounds, but it's the fact that despite having troubles academically, he didn't give up. When all the other schools turned their back on him, Toledo stuck with him, and he repaid that favor by showing loyalty and staying committed to Toledo, despite having other big college football teams like Alabama dying for his services.
How about your story? Because you mentioned your grades in high school.
Coming out of high school, I had some grade issues, and they just stuck with me through the whole process. So, I mean, I just give my thanks to them, give my thanks to God. Yeah, just perseverance, just going through that situation, coming out of high school. Everybody left me. Everybody forgot about me. So just coming and just persevering and just working hard. So, yeah.
I don't know if you know this. You may know this, but Nick Saban revealed tonight that at Alabama, the transfer portal, the number one guy they were waiting on to see if he would enter the transfer portal was you.
Oh, for real?
He said that. So you decided to stick with Toledo.
Yeah.
How come?
Just money and other opportunities, they're just not bigger than relationships. Relationships I had at Toledo, they're just so strong, so that's why I stayed. I love those guys. I love everybody in the organization, so just the relationships.
That loyalty and commitment to stick with a school that stood by your side is a powerful show of loyalty and commitment. His abilities are off the charts. How he sits on routes, uses his eyes, great in zone coverage, and ability to play man coverage, something he displayed in the Senior Bowl. In my opinion, with all those things accumulated, is why the Philadelphia Eagles drafted him with the 22nd overall pick. Mitchell remained a full-time starter in 2022, starting all 14 games while posting 41 tackles, 25 passes defended, which led the country, 5 interceptions and 3.5 tackles for a loss. He was named the National Defensive Player of the Week after recording 4 interceptions and 2 pick sixes in one game versus Northern Illinois. His 4 interceptions, it tied the school record. In 13 games during the 2023 season, Mitchell compiled 41 total tackles, 18 passes defended, and 1 interception. Quinyon Mitchell is a day 1 starter, slated as an outside cornerback. It'll be intriguing to see if the Philadelphia Eagles will have him replace James Bradbury or sit him. Roseman gives us insight into Quinyon Mitchell's ability and ways to deploy him, as well as Mitchell revealing some similarities between Eagles defensive coordinator Vic Fangio's scheme and Toledo's defensive scheme during Eagles rookie minicamp.
Impressions of Vic Fangio and Vic and his defense, your first impressions?
Yeah, so it's kind of like the same defense we ran in Toledo a little bit and stuff like that. And great dudes, great coaches. They corrected me and get me right for the season. So, I mean, I feel great about them.
For a guy like Quinyon, how does his skill set help you in what you can do with your secondary?
Yeah, he's obviously got good movement. He's got good size for a corner. He's going to have to adapt to the NFL game, covering NFL receivers, NFL schemes in the passing game. There's a lot to learn. But we think he's the right guy, emotionally and mentally to do that. And hopefully he'll pay dividends quickly rather than later. But he's going to be one of the many competing.
Why this cornerback, the first cornerback you've ever drafted in the first round?
I think we have an extremely talented, hardworking outside corner. So he's got all the tools in his body, the right mentality. We felt like we had really good information. Coach did an unbelievable job because of his connections at Toledo, really kind of relaying those thoughts and, us having the same conversations with the coaches. He really had a great process. And when you think about kind of he had a chance to transfer out of Toledo last year. He stayed there. He came back. He got better. He went to the Senior Bowl. He really checked the whole offseason process boxes one by one off, which is important, And obviously, he's got a lot to prove as a small school player. The MAC is not the National Football League. We understand that. We've had tremendous success with big schools. So, to take a player like this from the MAC, he has to be special, and we think this is a special person. This guy was standing out on our board. He was the highest ranked guy, and, it just seemed like a pretty easy pick. They had a tremendous amount of off coverage at Toledo, and I think when we talk about finishing the process, you got to see him play press coverage at the Senior Bowl. That was really an opportunity to see him kind of finish that and be well-rounded, and so I think that really helped us see that he had a diverse array of skill sets there, because that was one of the concerns when you see him play, that he's only playing a certain way and he's allowing his eyes to lead him to the ball. And so when he got in people's face at the Senior Bowl, we thought he was one of the best players at the Senior Bowl against really good competition, against really good receiving class. We say a bunch of them come off today, and we'll see a bunch of those guys come off tomorrow. So I think that was important for us.
The Philadelphia Eagles, after somehow being able to draft the best cornerback in the draft with the 22nd overall pick, acquired arguably the second best defensive back, Cooper Dejean. I wholeheartedly feel Cooper was their guy, but with Quinyon there, you couldn't pass up on him. So to get both of those guys, it's a steal. Cooper Dejean played quarterback and defensive back in high school and holds numerous school records. As a senior, he passed for 3,447 yards with 35 touchdowns and rushed for 1,235 yards and 24 touchdowns. Dejean was the 2021 All-American Bowl Adidas Player of the Year. In the state title game, Dejean made several impactful plays that highlights his versatility. In a 2-minute span, Dejean recorded 2 tackles, returned a punt 14 yards, completed 2 passes for 52 yards, rushed 3 times for 22 yards, and scored 2 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion. Talk about versatility. Mind you, this was in a 2-minute span. This is what the Eagles are getting with this type of a guy. Dejean also played basketball, baseball, and ran track in high school. In basketball, he scored 1,832 points. Dejean was the fastest 100-yard dash of any runner in the state during his senior year. Despite his athletic record and 4-star status, Dejean had limited offers coming out of high school. He would choose playing defense at Iowa. Cooper Dejean is a stud, period. He can play safety, outside corner, and inside corner. His versatility in new Eagles Vic Fangio's scheme is extremely critical when you take into account how much the Philadelphia Eagles and Vic Fangio value versatility. Howie Roseman as well as Cooper Dejean give insight into how the Philadelphia Eagles will utilize him moving forward and how he has been being used so far in rookie minicamps.
Did they put you today?
I was working everywhere today, so just kind of moving around, getting the feel for things.
You can do everything, though. Nickel, safety, return man. It's why you were drafted. Have you talked to coaches, or what's been said about sort of your role and how this team plans to unleash that 33?
Yeah, I've really talked all three positions with them. You know, I worked mostly the nickel and corner position at rookie minicamp, but there's been talks about safety in the pre-draft and returning as well. You know, so wherever they put me, I'll be excited. I'm excited for the opportunity, you know, to start at the corner position.
It's up to you. So corner over safety is what you'd want.
That's where I'm starting out. Yeah, the nickel and corner position. Yep.
And then you're mentioning return. So you and Coach Clay have many conversations over rookie minicamp. You get much time with him?
We've talked about it a little bit in my meetings with them. So.
Do you want a chance to? You want the crack at returning punts in this game? New rules?
Absolutely. Get to touch the ball as a defensive guy. I mean, what more could you ask for? You know, get out in open space.
When it comes to versatile players like Cooper, a lot of people projected him at different spots around the league. What's your philosophy as far as how you start guys out like that who may have multiplicity over different positions?
Yeah, there's a lot of players that physically are capable of being versatile. Where a lot of them get eliminated from being versatile is they struggle to learn the assignments and the techniques and the execution at a couple different positions. So there's a lot of guys that are versatile physically but can't do it mentally. You know, and I don't mean that they're not going to get, your reps are watered down the more you're moving around. And other guys are easier, it comes easier for them than others, if that makes sense to you.
Hey, Cooper, a lot was made of your versatility during the pre-draft process. I guess, do you have a sense from the Eagles where they might use you? And do you have a preference, you know, whether it's outside corner, slot, or safety, in terms of where you play in the secondary?
Yeah, they talked to me about all three positions. You know, I don't have a preference. You know, I'm a football player, so you put me on the field, I'm going to go play football. Whether it's inside, outside, at safety, wherever it is, you know, this is a game I love to play. As long as I'm on the field out there, you know, I'll be happy, and I'm going to give it my all every time I step on the field. Being able to play multiple positions, you know, being able to impact the game from different spots, outside, inside, you know, in the deep middle, wherever it is. You know, so I think it's a good thing, you know, for any team, you know, to have a guy that's versatile.
He comes in here, what position he'll play?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of these. He's just a good player, and you know, I think whatever he does, he's going to do at a high level.
Probably one of Philadelphia Eagles' most intriguing draft picks is Jaylx Hunt. Hunt began his collegiate career as a safety at Cornell in 2019, playing 7 games and posting only 3 tackles. The 2020 season was canceled due to COVID. He had 26 tackles in 10 games, and Hunt opted to transfer to the Houston Christian Huskies, and this is where it all changed for him. He ended his 2-year career there with 133 tackles and 20.5 tackles for a loss to go along with 13.5 sacks. That's amazing production when you take into account the guy was a receiver, switched to safety, transferred, and went to defensive end. He's invited to the 2024 Senior Bowl and became the first player from his school ever to receive the honor, as well as being one of only 4 from the FCS to receive an invite. Here's more on how the Philadelphia Eagles plan on using Jaylx Hunt and a bit more background on Hunt.
What gives you guys the confidence that he can become an NFL caliber edge rusher?
Yeah, I mean, he's got freaky tools in his body. You know, he's an explosive guy. I mean, if you watch his best plays, he's doing things that are unique. He can bend, he can close, he can finish. He's long. He's an extremely smart kid, obviously, coming from Cornell. You know, and we feel like we got a good edge rush group. You know, he doesn't have to come in here and you know, we're going to develop him like we talk about. This is a perfect developmental guy for us because of the tools in his body and his character and his work ethic, and we think we can really find something with him. But that's on us. That's on how he's going to work. And you know, you can say, you know, well, that's the 3rd round, and you're a good team. Why are you doing that? Because these guys are hard to find.
Hey, what went behind that decision to go from safety to defensive to an edge rusher, and what all went into that to prepare yourself to do that?
Growing, honestly. I was a late bloomer. I played receiver coming out of high school, played DB. I grew into my body some more, so when I transferred to Houston Christian, it was kind of just a natural progression. In the press conference last night, I was called like the perfect developmental player, which is a huge honor to me. They see a lot of upside, and it's something I'm excited to grow into.
Philadelphia Eagles desperately need a pass rusher. Jaylx is more of a developmental talent, but the common theme here with the Philadelphia Eagles draft picks are versatility. The kid played wide receiver and safety at one point, which is rare to go from receiver, safety, and defensive end so late into your football journey and actually excel. I do expect Jaylx to sit and learn before he gets playing time, but if he can come in right away and at the very least become a rotational pass rusher, that would be amazing. During rookie minicamp, Jaylx Hunt reveals his relationship with Eagles defensive coordinator Vic Fangio and how that has helped him in his short time with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Reported that Fangio is a big fan of yours, a big proponent. What was did you know that kind of during the pre-draft process, and you know, what kind of reaction do you have to that?
Not at all. I'm a big fan of his. A legend in the game, an OG, to say the least. So to know that your coach is a big fan of you is something that's obviously really cool, especially when it's somebody of his caliber. But then to know that, like, all right, you have somebody on your side when it comes to this whole process. Like, coach is a fan of me. He's willing to give me an opportunity. So now I just got to take it and work my butt off to get there to where I need to be so I can help out the team in whatever way possible. So
in round 4, the Philadelphia Eagles draft Will Shipley, running back from Clemson. Shipley is one of the players the Eagles deemed as a Red Star candidate. We'll talk more about that later. Shipley attended Weddington High School in North Carolina. Shipley was rated the 2nd best running back in the class by ESPN and committed to play college football at Clemson during his junior year. During his sophomore season, he was named first.
Players Will Shipley. Face of the program on and off the field. He's smart, consistent, well-rounded goal setter. He's tough and resilient on and off the field. He overcame a brain tumor that he had his senior year of high school and never missed time with football. And his high passion, competitiveness, and intensity fit perfect for the city. My player is Will Shipley.
I've got nothing but love for the city, and to finally be here. And I think it kind of hit me last night when I sat down in my hotel room. I'm like, you know, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm staying, and I couldn't be more happy.
I know you have a reputation being well-rounded, got receiving ability, some of that lacrosse background. How much did that help you when it came to footwork and things like that?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it was definitely a big deal. You know, when I was a kid growing up, there was no specialization in athletics for the Shipley family. You know, we really did everything that we could.
See your role with the Eagles and your thoughts on Barkley. I don't know if he was a guy you watched or anything like that growing up.
Oh, heck yeah. You know, when he was at Penn State and then his years on the Giants to being in Philadelphia now.
I really like this guy because he had a brain aneurysm, and there was some going on with his brain to where the guy had to overcome tons of adversity and still was able to be productive at Clemson. I mean, bro, that's an amazing story. It's a testament to his will to just be great, and his will to overcome, and his will to fight and persevere. It's extremely amazing. I would like to see him get some reps over Kenneth Gainwell. I don't know how happy he is with the Eagles. Some of his practice footage he's put out, his training footage that he put out recently, it looks like there's a lot to be desired there. So I don't know, man, but I would love to see Will Shipley out there and see what he can do. With one of the 3 Philadelphia Eagles 5th round picks, the Eagles select Ainias Smith. Ainias Smith, he's a smooth athlete who has quickness to get in and out of breaks and enough speed to be a playmaker at all 3 levels of the field. He played both running back and slot receiver in college and offers position versatility. He's an accomplished punt returner and kick returner. He's very tough with the ball in his hand, excels after the catch, and his experience as a return man shows up on offense. And according to Pro Football Focus, he caught 94.7% of his catchable targets in his direction last season, which is one of the highest marks in the class, and ranks in the 92nd percentile of all receivers drafted in the late decade. Ainias Smith has great vision with the ball in his hand and is a tough runner. His versatility and ability to run after the catch makes him extremely valuable for the Eagles. Listed as a running back / receiver, I think he can be a solid NFL player. He reminds me of Greg Ward with the upside of Deebo Samuel. During Eagles rookie minicamp, Ainias Smith reveals how his experience at running back could potentially help him moving forward with the Eagles.
Going into, I guess you could say, the running back room was a little bit different, just learning the different protections, learning different run plays, who's going to be blocking who and whatnot. But honestly, me having the ball in my hand, I've been doing that since I was a little kid. And then once I had got to the collegiate level, playing running back was a little different steps and all of that. But once I had learned basically to read my blocks, learning how to understand basically things are going to happen, and when things don't happen the way that you want them to, then, I have a counter against it. But then at the same time, once I had went back to the receiver room, it became natural, like little bubble routes, open field space, things like that. Just having the ball in my hand, it was just natural. So I got the ball in my hand, yes, you can tell that it helped for sure.
With their second 5th round pick, the Philadelphia Eagles select none other than Jeremiah Jr. himself, another guy listed as a Red Star player. Jeremiah Trotter is the son of Eagles legend Jeremiah Trotter. Instinctive player who plays faster than his 40-yard dash because of how well he sees the game. Has a good feel for navigating through traffic and finding his ways to the football. Pop on contact, downhill when defeating blocks and striking ball carriers. Routinely got teammates lined up before the snap. He's a good blitzer with 13 sacks to his name in just 3 seasons. High effort player who constantly chases the ball. Violent player on contact. According to PFF, Trotter's average depth of tackle occurred 2.42 yards away from line of scrimmage, one of the lowest numbers in the class. This is a good representation of his ability downfield, especially considering the number of plays he made in pursuit to offset things. Here's Eagles General Manager Howie Roseman on Jeremiah Trotter.
Well, first you talked about Trot, and I think we're going to call him Trot. I don't know if he likes that or not, but I think I'm so used to it that it's easy. We picked him because of how good a player he is, and you think about his DNA, which comes into play, but he has a history of winning and winning at a high level wherever he goes, and he's part of that because of the leadership he has on defense, because of the football instincts he has. Again, it goes back to instincts. He can see plays develop. I mean, tremendous blitzer. He's good in coverage. He reminds me a little bit, and I don't want to put too much on him, of TJ Edwards, where he's got an unbelievable feel for the ball. He's another guy who has vision for the ball. And so I think we got lucky, obviously, based on probably the process and the testing, got pushed down a little bit. We certainly had him graded higher than that, and we picked him because of who he is and who he can be as a player. And I think that he deserves the right to create his own legacy.
Adding a former Eagles legend could be the perfect fit for the kid, and hopefully the Philadelphia Eagles can figure things out at linebacker, because that has been an Achilles heel for the Eagles defense for quite some time. The final team's 5th round pick, the Philadelphia Eagles select Trevor Keegan, another Red Star prospect. Keegan attended Crystal Lake South High School in Crystal Lake, Illinois. He was rated among the top recruits on the offensive line and received scholarships from multiple schools, including Georgia, Penn State, and Michigan. He committed to play at the University of Michigan in December 2018. As a junior in 2021, Keegan started 11 games. Prior to the 2022 season, Keegan lost approximately 30 pounds, going from around 340 to 343 pounds to around 303 to 305 pounds. In 2023, Keegan returned for a 5th season and started all 15 games as Michigan would win a national championship. Keegan was named All Big Ten for a 2nd consecutive season. He has 44 career starts, 37 career starts at left guard, 0 sacks allowed in 2023, 3 sacks allowed in his entire career, 90 and 982 pass block snaps per PFF. He's only penalized 6 times with more than 2,200 snaps. He has championship pedigree, having won a national championship, and shows great character traits that was on full display when he chose to stay at Michigan and earn his starting spot instead of transferring. And incredibly disciplined, dropping 30 pounds in 2022. Keegan could have chose to transfer from Michigan after the lack of playing time, but he believed in himself, and the work he put in paved his way to a national championship, all while dropping 30 pounds and completely changing his physical makeup, which is extremely hard to do as a professional athlete. Here's more insight as to how he will be used. Further background into Keegan as he gives us insight into his versatility during Eagles rookie minicamp.
You know, our scheme at Michigan is very similar to what it is here. Like I said, it's just different terminology, but you know, establishing the line of scrimmage and making sure a run game to open up the pass game. You know, I love that identity, and there's a lot of similarities and parallels, and I'm just excited, and I feel like I fit this scheme very well. Yeah, I'm comfortable, you know, anywhere in the interior 3. I'm actually ambidextrous, so it's not that hard. But you know, anywhere they put me, I'm gonna work my tail off to, you know, do the best I can.
You have extensive experience at left guard, played a lot there at Michigan. Curious how you look at maybe potentially moving to the right side if you have that in your skill set, and also the pre-draft process. I know you talked about Stout calling you after. Did you have a sense that the Eagles were interested?
Yeah, so obviously we met at the Senior Bowl and at the Combine and stuff, and I told him, I was like, I love the way you guys play. I feel like I fit, you know, the identity of your team. So yeah, position versatility, to be able to be, you know, swing guard, maybe get in there at center was a huge thing for me, and I practiced that this past 4 months, snapping, and you know, definitely stuff on the right side as well. So you know, I think that was a huge thing that I wanted to show and display to these teams, and I'm excited to do that and, you know, hit the ground running in rookie minicamp.
Philadelphia Eagles will cap off the NFL draft drafting Johnny Wilson and Dylan McMahon. Johnny Wilson is my most intriguing draft pick because he's around 6'6", 6'7", and an absolute bulldozer. He grew up in Los Angeles, California, and attended Calabasas High School and was rated as a 4-star recruit and the 5th best wide receiver prospect in the nation according to 24/7 Sports, and initially committed to play college football at Oregon during the summer. But instead, he decided to go to Arizona State. Wilson began his college career there as a true freshman. He played in 3 games and caught 6 passes for 89 yards while maintaining a red shirt on the season. Wilson caught 12 passes for 154 yards and 1 touchdown in 2021. After the season, he entered the NCAA transfer portal. Wilson ultimately transferred to Florida State. For the 2022 season, Wilson led all Seminoles in receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns. In 2023, Wilson recorded 41 catches for 617 yards and 2 touchdowns, earning 3rd team All-ACC honors. This guy has unique size for a wide receiver position with an excellent catch radius. Has a good feel for navigating through traffic and finding his way to the football. He absorbs contact downhill when defeating blocks and runs sharper routes than most receivers. He's just, for a receiver, the guy is huge, right? And it's an automatic mismatch when you have shorter corners, you know? He's one of just 4 receivers drafted in the last decade who weighed at least 230 pounds at the combine while running a 4.5 40. Okay, he also clocked in running 21.2 miles an hour. That ties Devontae Smith. So, you know, that just shows for his size to be running that fast. It's man, he has a lot of traits. Wilson gives insight to how he will be used and his secret conversation with Howie Roseman.
A lot of people want to make you a tight end. When you hear that, what goes through your mind?
I mean, I play receiver. I mean, a lot of people have their, opinions on what I should be, but, I'm on this team. I'm playing for the Eagles, and, there's been no talk, me being, tight end. So we walked around the field, kind of talked about, like, my personal life, my story, and, what I was looking for, going into the league. And, I just, it was kind of just between, me and him. So it was just like a personal conversation that we had. And, we just walked around the field, I guess. He likes to walk around the field, so.
The Philadelphia Eagles wasn't done after the draft, bringing in 2 former first-round draft picks. John Ross still wants his legacy to be something more than being the last guy drafted before Patrick Mahomes. Ross will participate in Philadelphia Eagles rookie minicamp. For those who don't know, Ross, at one point, he was the fastest guy in the combine not too long ago. And that record was previously broken by Xavier Worthy this year. Now, it would be amazing to have a guy that fast on the team that can actually produce. I'm excited for him, and hopefully he can excel and contribute to making a team. But from what I've seen in rookie mini camps during his tryout phase, I mean, the guy looks explosive. He looks clean through some of his routes. I mean, who knows what will happen? But again, I would be excited to see a guy that fast on our team. So the Philadelphia Eagles reveal huge secrets that I honestly feel was unintentionally leaked by the Philadelphia Eagles regarding players the organization deems as Red Star players. These are players that the Philadelphia Eagles covet. A Red Star player essentially is a player who kind of exemplifies what it means to be an Eagle. So it's great character, captain, testing numbers, intelligence. I'll leave you guys with Howie Roseman and the Philadelphia Eagles scouting department as they discuss the players they covet and the true secrets revealed during the Philadelphia Eagles 2024 NFL Draft. This is the Voice of the Eagles show. And like always, God bless those Philadelphia Eagles.
Here, brother.
I'm going to try to get these 2 guys. Right now. All right.
All right, this is, as we talked about, one of our favorite meetings. You guys worked so hard all year, and we understand, when you talk about the first day, the second day, there are a lot of constituents on those picks. But everyone that we take on day 3 starts with all you guys and the work that you do. Very appreciative of that. So if there's a guy you feel strongly about, speak up. So we'll start with O-line. I got Trevor Keegan. Receivers.
I'd have Ainias Smith. To me, he's a heck of a football player that can play wherever you need him to.
Did we touch on Johnny?
We did not touch on Johnny.
To me, he's unusual. I mean, of all these guys, to me, he's unique. The size, he would add different ingredients. So I mentioned him here.
Right. Yep. Yeah, I agree.
Linebackers.
Whole mindset of the day walking into Clemson, will be a perfect fit in the city. A great football player. He's supposed to have to our environment.
That's great. We'll get this list typed up and just keep communicating throughout the day. It's going to be fun. A lot of fun today, guys. Let's enjoy the moment. A lot of good food. Let's enjoy each other, and let's have a great day. Thanks for everyone's help.
doggone team? Are you gonna bust somebody in their mouth? Are you gonna do your doggone job? Are you gonna play from your doggone chest? Are you gonna play from your heart and get everything you doggone got? Cause I'ma do that. They don't respect us. They don't know about our heart, man. That thing is beating your doggone chest right now. Whatever you got today,